All right, welcome to another episode of Make HOAG Money. Good to see everybody. Let's see what we've got going on here. So, CFTC disclaimer, we aren't going to be suggesting you take any of these trades. I'm not, you are, but this is my account, so I'm okay with that. There's a lot of risk in trading. You should only risk money you can afford to lose. One of the reasons we love Top Step, you're going to get our money to risk. Also, hypothetical performance results do have certain limitations. We're not suggesting that any performance, past or future, is going to mean that we're going to be successful or a failure in the future. We're not going to be suggesting again anybody take any of these trades. This is for educational purposes. I am the only one taking the risk. And here are some of the rules. Kindness and respect are expected above everything. There's lots of different opinions in markets. That's what makes them so good. We're going to get a couple of people here and able to speak. And looking forward to seeing who we can get up here. We're all going to be involved in the decisions, and of course, if you're speaking, you're going to be able to show your charts. So context is always going to be helpful in that regard. We're going to use the chat room and Zoom to discuss trades. I'll keep an eye on the chat in the YouTube studio as well, just to see what we've got going on as far as conversations. We're going to focus on the E-mini S&Ps for opportunities. The way we're going to vote is we're going to use the polling system in Zoom. We're not going to be taking losing trades, which is, of course, a joke. We all know that there's going to be risks and there are going to be losses in trading. We just have to keep them small and move along. And then, of course, we're always looking for feedback on improvement of Make HOAG Money. So we've already got one improvement. We're doing it 4 days a week. Yesterday we did it for the close. We made about 10 points in the S&Ps. Pretty successful day yesterday. We'll see what we can do today. And then again on Wednesday, tomorrow we'll do the afternoon session here at from 2 to 3. And then typically on Thursday we're going to do the morning session, but not this week. This week I'm going to be off on Thursday, Friday, and Monday, so there won't be Make HOAG Money on Thursday or Monday. We will be having group coaching, however, on Monday, as well as tomorrow. So we will only be missing a couple of Make HOAG Money sessions the end of this week and the beginning of next week. So why don't we go ahead and jump into the markets here. You may notice when it comes to electronic trading, there seems to be nothing perfect. We've got a sim account here today. We had a little issue with my data feed, so we're going to be trading sim today. I'm going to refresh this because there's a couple of errors here. There, now we've got everything looking the way it should. So we're going to be trading sim today, which is fine. It's all right. We're still going to be seeing if we can't make some money. And my apologies for that. Something beyond my control, a little glitch or something we're trying to get figured out. And by tomorrow's session, of course, we will be back to the live account. So what are we looking at? Who is my next victim? If anybody would like to talk, let me know. You can either raise your hand or just say I will in the chat. Let's see here. First off, let's do the vote. In context, we've got a whole lot of overnight longs in the S&Ps here. This is the NAS. This is the micros. Here's the S&Ps. Whole lot of overnight longs. Do we want to think about taking the opening range trade? If we were going to take the opening range trade because we're out of balance, we're out of range. What are we doing? Let's take a vote. Opening range trade, yes or no? You can vote in YouTube as well, just by saying take it or don't take it in the chat if you want to. We got our voting going here. 39% participation, 50% participation. Jordan says yes, as long as the range isn't large. I can see that. I can see that. All right, so we're in good shape here. 55%. We got 63% saying yes, 38% saying no. I wouldn't say that's a mandate, but I think that's enough for us to think about taking the opening range trade. So let's see what we've got here as far as our 1 minute chart. I don't see it. Let's add it here. 1 minute. Opening range. All right, let's see if it works. Got VWAP on there. All right, so there's our 1 minute. As far as the profiles are concerned, yesterday we had a big repair day. Look at all this area that the market kind of repaired. We were looking for it to get up to here. We were looking for it to get down to here, maybe down to here. Just a whole big day of repair. A whole big day of repair. Now we're currently trading above Friday's high. This is an overnight all-time high that the markets tend not to like. Let's see the MES. So here's the overnight from the in the micros. Current right at the high. So, Chad, the opening range trade is something that goes back to the old pit days. The opening range used to be when all of the brokers that were holding orders before the open had executed those orders. If it was a busy day, the opening range could be, several ticks wide or even handles wide, and take 5 minutes to finish. And electronic trading, we're pushing a button. If there's something we want to get done right away, we can just kind of push the button and get it done. So I'm looking at the opening range as basically 1 minute. Now, there are other folks that look at the opening range in 30 seconds. There are people that look at the opening range as 5 minutes long. To me, it seems okay to say that the opening range is approximately 1 minute. That seems like plenty of time for us to get things done. So when we look at the opening range, we say, okay, the first minute, 8:30 to 8:31 is done. If we're going to take the opening range trade, as soon as it breaks out above the opening range, we take the long. As soon as it breaks out below the opening range, we take the short, and we just put the stop in to get long, put the stop in to get short, and then our risk is already out there. It's already kind of established, right? Ben, do you want to? Oh, you want to talk? Okay, I got you. Here you go. So we got 30 seconds before the opening range. You got a trade idea, but it will happen quickly. Won't discount the overnight trade if the overnight trade is to the long side. All right. What are you doing, Ben?
Okay. Good morning.
You're feeling better.
Yeah, every day I'm getting a little better. I still have some chest congestion, but I got an idea for us that's not necessarily incompatible with the opening range trade, but it may happen uh,
Quickly.
quickly. Yeah. Well, you want to wait for that minute to shake out
Yeah,
so I
let's see
can
what we
share?
got here.
Yeah.
Here we're
And are you
just
planning to only do the opening range long or short?
either side. I would prefer short, but
Well, I want to. So the high on Friday was last week's regular trading hours high.
uh-huh.
Uh, and the overnight high, now it's been taken out in this overnight, but it wasn't yesterday. And that's at 1475. And what I'm thinking is that if we do get back down and, take out that high of day, we close this little gap here and come through it and either hit that high and bounce back through the last week's high or go through the overnight high from a couple days ago and come back up, and come back out, get rejected from that range. I think that'd be a good opportunity to look to go for a long. It's be better to show it on the chart, but we'll wait here, see what happens.
Okay, well, we got the first minute here, and we're not in anything yet.
And did you meet the 5 point requirement?
We're a little beyond that, but it's all right.
So it's come through that high, and what I would look for is I'd give it a minute to shake out, but it comes through and takes out, okay, like this. Now, if it comes back out now, I would want to see it hold above 17 there and risk that low. And, it's a possibility. So I didn't have I was on a phone call. I didn't have everything set up, so I can't take anything myself. But at the moment, I still get things in play. But,
Okay, do you want to show what you're looking at now? Because
yeah.
we're short. We're short at 1850, and things seem to be heading our way. I'm going to take this
Okay.
off that 1 minute chart because it gives me heart palpitations. And then you go ahead and show your
Okay.
charts.
Yep. And it may not. It's telling me it won't let me share it.
Go for it.
Here we go.
No,
Okay.
Mike. No, we didn't hit our limit on the live account. It's just we had some sort of glitch. I didn't have live feed this morning, and it's just not set yet. So we'll be back to live tomorrow.
So we this would be the more ideal because we'd come back again and took out a little more. But if you're seeing the profile chart here,
Mm-hmm.
the order flow in the overnight was pretty much well up, not exactly one-time trading, balanced a bit, came up and came down. We have this argues for the short side. We have a reversal pattern right here, but again, I'm looking at a long. The idea was this. So this would be more. It's maybe too late now, but come down to the prior high day, which is right here.
Mm-hmm.
Not yesterday's, but the other day. We didn't take it out.
Right.
At the overnight high right here, which I don't always count references that are traded through in the overnight as what's known as repaired.
Got it.
So we came down through that high, and there was a swing low here at T at 14. I'll make this bigger. People maybe can't see it so good. Swing low here, and we took it out by one tick and came back out and came back down again. And there's so many times, especially early on, there's all that back and forth, kind of get chopped up. But come back up and hold above last week's high, and now you see we got the BPOC up here, we're developing value. I would want to be long against that and risk either this volume shoulder or the low. Again, it's a disadvantage being on this side of the open, possibly, but that would be the shot I would take. Now, I would have been already out for a couple points, but that was the idea I wanted to put forward.
Okay,
So
good.
I'll turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you.
Sure,
Anything else pops up, let me know.
you got
it. So we're still below the opening range. We're still short. We're just kind of hanging around here. We've got a little bit of a overnight inventory adjustment to the short side, which didn't do much. It just went right down to VWAP. So maybe that VWAP's a little bit supportive for us. We do have a stop in above the high of the opening range. So there's only so much risk we're going to have. Basically, you're risking the opening range plus a few ticks whenever you take the chance on the opening range trade. Now, the opening range trade has not been very, very successful lately, but we've been, yesterday we were in range and in value, so there was no real reason to try and think about taking the opening range. We were in balance. Today we're out of balance. Overnight inventory to the long side. You can see right here what Ben was just talking about. There's that previous high, right? That's last Friday. Overnight high here. You can just see in the colors here that Ben's right. I mean, the overnight was, split. Basically just almost a one time framing event to the upside. We now have put in a new recent high in the overnight session. But now we've got the opening range, the high of the session. So that's the high of the opening range, where we've got to stop just above it. And as long as that remains the opening range, this is a valid trade. Now we're just kind of hanging around. Thank you, Dan. Yeah, we do have some news coming out. PMI manufacturing final at 8:45 and a couple of things coming out at 9. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but Lacey, the center of the universe, has her head right on my foot and she's snoring. I can't move. I can't move. Hey, Mr. Hoyt, what's going on? Let's get you in here. That's right, it is Tuesday, isn't it? I didn't give you a chance to say yes or no. I just made you a panelist. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to.
Unmute. Good morning, traders.
Good morning. How are you, Mr. Hoyt?
I'm doing great. How about you guys?
Doing well, doing well. What's going on?
I'm just waiting for something to happen here. I mean, trick-or-treating last night, my kids have 8 pounds of candy each.
We used to have them come back halfway, take half their candy so we could give it out.
Right? Good idea.
Yeah. We tried not to let them know that, but we knew what they liked, so we'd take the other stuff.
Yeah, they know I'm going to eat all their chocolate, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to keep the bowl out of sight, out of mind, so that I don't start munching on it, because I don't need that. But I did have a couple Snickers last night, so.
Where's my favorite?
Yeah, right. So what's going on?
Market-wise, so here's what I got. I mean, like you said, we're looking strong. We're opening higher. There's a lot of news coming out with the FOMC. Usually, I feel like it's going to be a small, tricky day today. It's a good day to blow up my account.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. It is, right?
That's the only thing good about the day before FOMC. We'll see what happens on the 9 o'clock number. I mean, right now, my last swing low is at 39.1475. Until we close below that. If we close below that, I'd look for a pullback to get short, right? Otherwise, we're just going higher or kind of doing nothing right now. And I'd have a target like maybe value high from yesterday, like right around 38.95. If the short setup comes to fruition. If it doesn't, I kind of have nothing to do right now other than, let me see, I haven't eyeballed the long if I were to do one.
Well,
Yeah, or try to buy it at 38.15. I mean, I know we pierced below that.
30,
swing level.
39.15.
Yeah, 39.15. We never closed below the 39.14.75. We pierced it and popped back up.
Right, and
So
VWAP is right there, 39.13.
you could try a little play there and just keep your wrist tight and then move the break even quickly. I mean, there's no real juicy setup for me right now. I just don't see it.
You know, you said 38.15. You sent me right back to my youth.
Oh,
The house I allegedly grew up in. The address was 3815.
ah. Let's see. I mean, really, I have nothing. Just gotta wait this one out, see what happens.
Yeah, unfortunately, that seems to be happening a lot on Make HOAG Money in the morning. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, not every morning's a setup where you just throw down. I mean, that's just how it goes.
Right.
We all want to make money right away, of course. But that's never actually made me money.
Right. Just because we want to.
Transfer into results. Patience is usually much better.
So, Dustin, why did you switch to the cumulative delta line? Because this Tiki cumulative delta line allows me to it allows me to zero delta at the beginning of the session. So I can see delta here on this platform. It's right here. It's about minus 600. Now I can see it here. It's about minus 500. It's reading approximately the same. Now we're at 400. We got some buyers popping up here. But that's why. And you can do that right here if you have the cumulative delta line. Set it to start a half hour before the session. You got to set it to session. Set it to a half hour before. Show your values. And save. Now it's going to show you the session delta. That's the regular trading hour session delta. You can see yesterday we ended at approximately minus 600 in delta on a range bound day like that with an increase in open interest of 16,000. It tells me that some of our longer time frame traders were adjusting inventories, either getting out, probably adding to some long positions to get themselves hedged. Because the increase in open interest against Delta, which would be something that I would expect would cause short time frame traders to end up short after the session yesterday. Well, if they were short after the session yesterday and decided to get out last night, they would have been buyers. Those buyers continued to push higher, which makes me believe that our short time frame, weaker hands, pea shooters like me that traded last night are holding long positions. Those pea shooters are looking for continuation to the upside. It's going to take new business for that to happen. We have our overnight, which is the recent high, which they have going for them. But if they're too long and they don't get what they're looking for relatively early, which is continuation to the upside, all it takes is a couple of them to start saying, I think we're going to get out, and then they can start a fire that could feasibly bring price all the way back down into the range from yesterday. Would I be that greedy? Well, I might be. No, I would probably be looking for an opportunity to see price close the gap first. And if it looks like we're accepting in range, then maybe high value from yesterday would be a wonderful target for our current short, if indeed it does happen. I have Mortimer Duke texting me, says he can't make the Make HOAG Money meeting today, so we'll just have to go with without Mortimer. That's my brother. So here we go. So we're starting to see some of those overnight longs getting nervous. Orion, yeah, this is a 30-minute chart. This is the market profile as well as the volume profile always attached to that. Just took out VWAP. If we hold below VWAP, we're going to be sitting pretty good. I'm kind of upset that my data feed was not on today because it's the first time we've seen a relatively successful opening range trade in a while. Longs are bailing, yes. Keep bailing.
All right, so now we've taken out two swing lows in the S&P, the 3906 and the 3915. So, will we close below that on whatever time frame? Let's see.
We got a 15-minute change here, which we just did. Now we've got a economic report that just came out. Manufacturing PMI is back above 50. That should be good. Anything above 50 is growth. And we're breaking. Go figure.
Right. What's the low? 10 half. 5 half. So now a pullback up to 18 half. I want to be a seller there. I don't know if I'm going to get it, but selling at 18 half. Stop. Is going to be pick your poison.
Hey, guess where we're already short?
Yeah, so I have my stop at 28 half is the best place to have it because it's above the highest high.
Above the high, right.
If you didn't like that, you could maybe try to cheat it at 25 half. I've done that enough. I mean, it's,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Not optimal.
Yeah, see, Shaw's got a good question here. Does the Fed actually want to see growth now?
I don't know.
They're
Doesn't matter what they want to see.
yeah,
I mean,
they're
I don't know.
squashing everything.
So you guys are still short. What are you looking at for profit target?
I don't know. I didn't plan that far ahead.
I mean, maybe 38.87.
38.87. Yeah, well, I mean that looks good to me. We're now inside yesterday's range. Are we seeing signs of acceptance of range from yesterday? I mean, this could be a perfectly reasonable profit target for us as just the gap close. But if we're going to continue, there's the overnight TPO point of control, which is right here. Then there's yesterday's point of control, which is right here. And how about value low from yesterday? I see now you got me sitting here. When I start to get dollar signs in my eyes, I know I probably better just get out.
Well, so we're in the range from yesterday, but we're not yet in value.
No, correct. Value high, as you mentioned it, it's 38.60, 38.94 approximately.
Okay. So that could be a place to look for an exit.
Yes.
Because, we opened in the gap and everything else, right? So those kind of rules are still in place. Okay.
But you
So
got to
when
remember,
the price gets down there, your choice is, do I either take the money or do I tighten my stop super tight and hope we keep going?
well, you got to remember this move to the downside is not created by your stronger traders. This is an inventory adjustment that short time frame traders got too long and bailed. This isn't something you necessarily want to fall in love with. Do we think the market is inherently strong and eventually going to resolve to the upside?
Well, I'd say the probability says yes, just because of the way the last few days have gone. We're closing higher, we're gapping higher. We couldn't fill range yesterday. We couldn't fill value, right? I mean, the low of the day yesterday was the high of value-ish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
See, I just talked myself into taking that profit. So we're flat now.
I gotcha. And we got the 9 o'clock number coming out. That could be some action there, right? I mean, is it ISM?
Yeah, that's the most powerful thing we've got. ISM and JOLTS, job opens and labor turnover.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot I left that crude trade from the forecast. We took an opening range trade in crude. We obviously we lost because this is that same account. Because we just made what $70 more than 10 points. This is micros on this trade, and it's showing a loss. So there we made almost $70 on that crude trade. On the S&P trade.
S&P trade, okay.
Right. We lost 31 points on the crude debacle this morning.
So the S&P is trying to get to that value high.
Yep. And there's a couple. I mean, there's lots of anomalies in the overnight that we can go back and recheck. But typically, as a general rule, Matt and Ben, when the opening range is it was one extreme, I tend to trade to that direction. So that might mean our 39.18 half that you were looking at is still a valid short.
Right. Okay. So you're saying when the opening range is the high of the day, so far maybe you're looking to trade short.
We're looking to keep looking for shorts until something changes.
Okay.
Now we've got Delta at minus 4,700 now. Delta is completely congruent with direction. That's saying that our assumption that this push to the downside as short time frame traders is correct. Because you can feel them. They're going, oh my God, I'm going to lose all my money, and they're just banging on their mice, going, get me out, sold. You can hear them. Listen.
They're panicking, man.
They're panicking. They're not going to be able to buy their kids the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip.
That's right. Let's see here.
So even Dalton says, when you benefit from a overnight inventory adjustment such as this, remember that's exactly what it is. It's not a major move. It's not major players. It's weaker hands unraveling a position. Now, as soon as they're done unraveling that position, in this case, they're sellers because they're too long. They're actually taking selling power out of the market in short time frame, but still taking selling power out of the market.
So you would think a smart trader that was long sees the market go against them, they're going to unwind for that reason, and maybe why hold on to this if it's going to become a loser before the number comes out as well? That could be like a double.
Exactly. Sure. I mean, you got to think a fear and emotionally based trader, because that's what most of them are. Most of them, most of these shorter time frame pea shooters are making decisions based on emotion and fear. And if you think like them, then you can beat them.
Right. So right now they're puked. Maybe they're thinking of getting short. Maybe they want to, who knows what, wait till the number. I mean, I want to wait till the number because I don't see an entry.
And that, that may be a big part of why they decided to bail now.
Right.
So when the number comes out, we'll see what happens then. But I'm not holding anything into any numbers, and I don't think you are either, right?
No, I mean, unless I have a winner on and I've got structure to hide behind, I'm fine with it. If it's a longer term setup, if it's not, I'm Mr. Numbers. I'm like, oh, did I get my 4-1? Did I get my 5-1?
Right.
And just the hide behind, that's kind of typically how I play. So now anyone sold here is short in the hole so far in the poor trade location. We'll see what happens.
So do you remember, Matt, when everybody was like on the trading floor, you got to find your edge. What's your edge? How you got to find your edge? A lot of guys, I think, was buying the bid and selling the offer. That was their edge.
Yeah.
Right? The true scalpers, right?
Yeah.
What would you say your edge is now?
Definitely patience. I mean, I have to wait for a setup and follow my rules. And then I have it right here in front of me. See the signal, feel good about it, take the trade. Use your go, no go bar that shows my risk reward. And if the go, no go bar is up there, it has my maximum risk on it for one contract. Right? So if the maximum risk doesn't get my stop behind the market structure, I can still take the trade, but I know it's a cash stop. I have no structure to hide behind. So price could easily ding me out. Do I really want to put my money down on that setup? Versus being more patient and just trying to get something behind a prior high or prior low. So I have market structure protecting me, which is, basically where other traders have their bids or offers in because they want to sell or buy. That's what will protect my stop. So those are the juiciest trades. I mean, if you can get and then, my go no go is 10 points in the S&P. So I'm risking $50 per micro. Now, I don't have to risk 50 because if my go no go at 10 points and then the structure is only at 6.5 points, okay, my stop's 6.5 points.
Right.
Now I'm not even at my maximum risk, and I still have structure to hide behind, and maybe I'll take more size because it's a cheaper setup. And then typically I go for 4-1, but when I get this is where I get in trouble. When I get piggy on the profit, and I'm going to 8 for 1 on this one, and then where I get in trouble is that I'm not always here.
Right.
The system I have doesn't let me do a trailing stop. So there's a couple stupid things in play that are like process.
Are you able to monitor those positions on your phone?
I can see them, but I can't change them. Right. So I can't move an order on the phone. They don't have a mobile website for TradingView orders. So that's one of my big obstacles right now. I'm thinking of moving to Ninja Trader because I feel like you can do a trailing stop on the Ninja Trader.
You gotta teach your wife to get you out of positions.
Seriously.
You're one of the kids. Hey, go turn on my computer.
Right. So, logistically, I've got some silly obstacles that should be easy to overcome, but right now aren't.
You're getting a lot of suggestions here that TradingView does have an app.
I have the app. It won't let me adjust orders. I don't know why. I've called TradingView. I've written into them, and they're like, "Well, if you use blah blah blah, you can do a trailing stop." So, but with the Tradovate, with the setup through Top Step, it doesn't let me do a trailing stop, and I can't move any orders.
Huh. There's other people saying they're looking for suggestions. Get TeamViewer, and you can control your home PC through your phone.
Oh, TeamViewer. Okay.
And it's free. Thank you, Daniel.
So TeamViewer is an app for my phone, huh?
TeamViewer is an app where you can see your screen on your home PC and make adjustments.
And access. Cool. I'm going to write that down. Thank you so much. So typically when I'm going to get that state of mind where there's a reason I'm going for more than 4-1, I like to have some actual physical evidence, not just, dollar signs in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes that's realistic where I'm like, look, this setup is great. I'm going to go here. I'm in the swing trading combine, so I can hold stuff, for 10 hours or as long as I want to. Really, there's no rules for how long I can hold something.
So
Nice.
ISM 5002, that's expansion. Job opens and labor turnovers was higher than expected as well. So now we're getting some continuation to the downside. Now we get down to settlement, or just about right about here is where the overnight began. This is where the buyers came in and started buying it right away at 5 o'clock last night, just above settlement. Ben, how you holding up?
I'm not doing too good trading wise.
Uh-oh.
Honestly.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I had a phone call. It's a long story, but I was on the phone up until like 9:25, so I didn't do my thorough prep and all this. And anyway.
Yeah, make it a rule. If you don't do your homework, you don't get to trade.
Yeah, it's a good rule. Well, I'm going to quit if I can't make a little bit of a comeback here shortly.
All right, well, focus. Don't listen to our bullshit. You do you.
Well, thank you.
So, Matt, I was asking you really, kind of what your edge is. And your edge is knowing your risk and your reward over risk ratio.
Yeah. If it's not 3-1, there's no way I'm.
You don't even think about it, right?
Yeah, and if it is only 3-1, it better be like a layup. I'm not going to do a risky trade for 3-1. I'm going to do like the easiest layup on earth if it's 3-1. Now, 4-1, 5-1. Yeah, I'll take more, setups that aren't perfect, so to speak. But that's just it. And I'd rather take the setup and be wrong than skip it and be right. There's nothing worse than that.
Right.
And what I'm trying to do is hone my management and say, look, if for any reason things change when I have a position on and I feel like it's changing for the better, like instead of being 4-1, this could be 6-1. If I'm going to move my profit, there's got to be a place where I can tighten up my stop and say, look, if I'm not already at break even, I should for sure be at break even if things are changing and look juicier.
Right.
And then if I'm like, okay, I've got a place to hide behind kind of near my profit, like, okay, instead of taking a 4-1, I'll move my stop. So the worst thing that can happen to me is I'm making 2-1 or 3-1 on the trade if I get stopped out. Then I'll move the profit down to like 6-1 or 8-1 or whatever I think is, heading toward my next median line. I'm like, okay, if we get there, I'm making 8-1. Worst case, I get bumped out for 2.5 or 3-1. Do I do that or take the 4-1? Because if you can stack up those 4-1 winners, there's certainly nothing wrong with that.
Oh no, there's not a thing wrong with that.
Yeah, you can really crush it. I mean, it's going to be very lucrative. And the funny thing is, for me, because I'm such a pig, it takes a lot of discipline for me to take. Sometimes the hardest thing for me to do is just take the money and let it go. Just enjoy the victory and be like, fine, I got 4-1. Like, big deal. I didn't get 9-1. Sorry.
Right.
Sometimes I just get carried away. Greed starts taking over. When that happens, it's time to tighten up your stop and just keep it real and say, look,
greed.
So easy to fall down that slippery slope.
That green-eyed monster, greed. I've seen it.
That's where a lot of my problems begin. I get greedy, then I'm like enraged for no reason because I'm like a pig. So all of a sudden, pigs get slaughtered because all of a sudden my mindset gets destroyed, and I have to have this or that, and before I know it, now I'm doing silly things and losing money.
For
no reason other than I didn't make enough money on the trade.
The market would never turn on me now.
Right.
I wonder if there's like a what does greed look like to you? Does it look like a gremlin, like a little devil?
A little devil that's always right. Always got the best ideas.
Yeah, and it's loud with them too.
Yeah, so
it's not like hinting, it's yelling at you.
Yeah. So what do you think? We're filling value?
I would say that's a pretty good bet because value low is the overnight low. And one of my favorite things is if we take out the overnight low, that's going to take out the low of value. But if we kind of just look out there and die and come back in, sometimes that can be a pretty decent long.
Okay.
Now we got a little divergence here. This is the micros. The low is 38.81 quarter. Minis 81 even is the low. Always little differences in that.
Mm-hmm. Right, on a TPO that could change.
It could change the world, right?
Right, I guess it could. Huh.
Spencer's saying good economic numbers mean the Fed has plenty of room to continue hiking. Market probably doesn't like that event. Apparently, that's exactly what I was thinking. Good news equals bad news, right? Bad news equals good news. Value low from yesterday. What else we got going on here? That's great. Yeah, that was nice. You guys, a team viewer thing. That'll probably help Matt a lot.
Yeah, that'll be nice. I just can't get caught using it.
Yeah. Excuse me a second. I've got to go to the bathroom.
It's fun, you know. It's fun. All right. Yeah, we really are kind of, I mean, on your minute chart, 2-minute chart, 5-minute chart, we're just straight down. There's nothing you can do. Mm-hmm. If you go to a range chart, there's a couple little, we pulled back to that value high, and then bye-bye. But there's no getting in yet. There's always a pullback. Let's see.
I mean, this is a weak low, but is it too short? Is it a unfinished downside auction, or are we just too short down here?
I don't know. If we thought, a lot of this move was people unwinding last night.
Yes, that's right.
It's not real sellers. Are the real sellers coming in now that we're in value and they see maybe a special situation play developing? I don't know.
Well, the special situation play is already done. We went from value high to value low already. Almost to value low.
Value low, is that extension? I mean, is there any more?
I mean, at that point, I'm punting. But I mean, look at the delta. The delta is negative 10,000. So if that's not just short time frame, that's all time frames acting in concert.
And the delta is like the strength of the push? Is that what
Yeah, the delta is negative 10,000. That means 10,000 more contracts traded on the bid. In other words, market order sells.
Right, okay.
Then traded on the offer, which is market order buys. So your more aggressive traders so far in this session have been the sellers. Obviously, price is moving lower. If price was not moving lower and we had negative 10,000 delta, that would sniff out to me that there's longer time frame buyers just scooping up whatever they can scoop up.
Right.
And they're going to end up getting the short time market order hitters too short, and then you start looking the other direction. See, that's what you're doing when you're making hypotheses about your direct competitors. We know that most of our direct competitors are never going to make any money. Why? Because they're following fear and emotion. They're not logically thinking like we are here. You know your risk. You know your reward that you're thinking about on any given trade. Of course, we have the same foibles as everybody. Greed, maybe a little bit of fear, all of those things. But we know that over time, because of experience, knowledge, intuition that's come from years of being around this, that eventually we're going to be okay, right? So if we can think like our fear and emotionally based competitors, and I call them competitors, they're not really, direct competitors, but we are. This is a competition. This is performance. This is who's going to win, who's going to lose. And we know most of them are going to lose. So if we're doing what they're doing, we are too. If we can recognize when they are feeling chased, pain, anything like that, that's our signal to say, okay, we've got them the wrong way now. We can take the other way, and when they unravel, then we can benefit. Just the same way we did here. We said, okay, the market's open, and all of these short time frame longs are feeling real happy right now because they're long from here, and they're long from here, and they're long, and it's the laggards up here that were the first one, the last ones in were the first ones to light the fire on the way out. But if we recognize that we've got all of these short time frame, weaker hands traders way too long and they don't get what they're looking for, this is generally what's going to happen. You're going to get a pullback that we can take advantage of. Now, we took advantage of that in a kind of a small way, but we did. So, but in recognizing when our time frame is chased, they are in trouble because the longer time frame traders we noticed yesterday with the delta divergence have them too short, getting out, getting too long, and then the move in the opposite direction happens. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, and we took a bite out of it. But I think we did good. I mean, we made more than 10 points. I think we were risking, I don't even remember what the opening range was. And then maybe we got 2-1 on it, maybe. But still, it was a good trade because there was a reason for it. Logic. You think the people that bought the high here right before the open, how do you think they're feeling right now?
Well, hopefully they got out.
Well, hopefully, yeah. But, you can't count on that. You buy the high here and it starts going against you, and half the people are going, well, I'll just wait. It'll come back.
Yeah.
And they get down here and they're saying, well, if I liked it up there, I'll buy more here. And then now they're thinking, oh, well, I can't get out now. That's just too big a loss. And maybe I'll buy some more down here. And right now they are just puking.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen, Matt.
Time and time again.
Oh, my God. We used to see that happen in the pit, and we'd go stand next to the guy, and as soon as he puked, we bought him because we knew the low was in.
Yeah. That's why it's important to kind of trade within your threshold. If you take too big of a trade, for whatever reason, part of that greed fear thing, you can't take that hit. I can't get out now. Now it's X amount of dollars. Then it's even more. Oh, what am I going to do? That happened to me once. I did a 5-lot in a spook hit, and I held that loser all day long. Luckily, back then, a 10-point day was a pretty big day.
Big day, right, right.
Because I had to get out on the closer. I had to be flat on the closer. I'd be fired. So I gave my order to a broker, buy me 5 MOC. That was it. I think I lost $12,000 that day.
Ouch.
And that was early on in my trading career. I'd been doing well. I think I was up like 40K after like 2 or 3 months.
Uh-huh.
So this is like my 3rd month as a trader, and it was just like, wow, this is really it.
So just not to interrupt you, but we just traded to Friday's point of control, which was naked TPO point of control. Somebody was saying, what about the single TPOs from Friday? Could those be targets? Well, you think about it. I mean, this was negative delta all the way up. Buyers were here, and buyers were here. So if you ask me, that test of the point of control looks like kind of an interesting spot. Now, I just took a long. I just barreled into it. So we're about 5 points of risk. We're going to risk just below the current low by 4 ticks.
What's yesterday's low? Aren't we right there?
Yesterday's low was right here.
Okay.
So yesterday's low we took out, we're back above. We tested to the point of control from yesterday. And now, from Friday, I should say. Friday's point of control right here. We just tested to it. And
Friday we exploded.
Yes.
To the upside of the morning.
Yes.
Okay. So in my mind, you know how when the market goes vertical one way, it can easily get back vertical the other way to kind of seek out those missed little gaps.
Down here. Right?
Yeah.
So if this doesn't hold, then these would be reasonable targets. I call them the Dylan fills. There's a trader I know that likes to come and let these get filled and then take the opposite direction.
Mm-hmm.
But this check of this naked point of control, TPO point of control, and the low from yesterday, and the fact that it didn't stay below it, now we've got, a chance to see if we can get back inside last night's overnight low. And if that's the case, I think we may have a pretty decent trade here.
Mm-hmm.
But again, we're only risking 5 points.
Small risk in a decent location where a lot of things are kind of coming together. Right?
Yep.
On a day where we think should be a day where not too much could happen because we're saving it for tomorrow or Thursday.
Tomorrow and Thursday, and then unemployment on Friday.
Right. So.
Unenjoyment.
I mean, you'd think after the FOMC comes out, there's going to be some range extension one way or another. And if there isn't, just because it's the last 2 hours, well, then Thursday's for sure. Yeah, and I guess we have unemployment too. Okay. I think the FOMC will be heavier than unemployment. I don't know what you think.
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially if there's something comes out unusual, like maybe 50 basis points, things will go crazy.
Well, that would be crazy. It would be explosive rally. I think it's got to be 0.75. There's no reason it shouldn't be.
Mason, you all right? It looks like you got your depth of market back on. Good. All right, so we're getting kind of late. What are we looking for a target here?
Let's see on the long side. Let me see what I can.
Well, I know you're up at 42.80.
I mean, for a day trade, I'd be happy at 38.93. Just below the value top that we broke through.
Okay, so we've got to stop in. We're going to go 38.93. Mr. Valentine has set the price, and I'll manage this, and we'll see what happens we'll talk about it on the recap.
And where's your stop and where's your entry? Where'd you get in?
We're in at 74 half long. Mm-hmm. Our stop is at 38.69.50. So 5 points. And we're looking at almost 20 points of profit. So we're almost at 4-1. That is a Matt Hoyt reward to risk ratio if I've ever heard of one.
Textbook. We like
textbook. And that takes us to today's point of control, which is a little bit above that, 4 points above that.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, thanks for playing.
Ben, Matt, thanks for your help today. Everybody, thanks for voting. Thanks for all of your help today. And we'll see you Coach's Playbook, 11:30, and then we'd have what's today, and then I think that's it, right? Recap is it. So trade well, everybody. Matt, have a great day. Ben, have a great day. Everybody, trade well today. Get out there and profit. And we'll see you later.
Thanks, guys.